Good evening, everyone. I'm Councilwoman Susan Malkovitz, and I thank everyone for attending tonight. On behalf of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Highland Park, we're excited to sponsor a choice of 3 home improvement and energy efficiency upgrade programs to appeal to our diverse residents. We're especially proud to offer assistance with home improvements to residents who might otherwise not be able to afford those projects. And we're very proud to continue with our commitment to sustainability by offering programs to improve energy efficiencies. I'd like to, we just started. I'd like to thank the mayor, who couldn't make it this evening. He's had a funeral. He's encouraged the development of these programs from the beginning. And I'd like to thank my fellow council people. Council President Gail Brill is here. I'd like to thank them for their support in this program and this project. We continue to strive to help our residents and promote sustainable initiatives. I'd also like to thank Kathy Kovach, who's not here tonight, but she's our borough administrator, and she was integral in the development of these programs, and to her staff, Janet, who helped us in our advertising and in setting this up tonight. And if I can just talk a little bit about the programs, introduce them, and then we have speakers that'll speak about each of the programs. So first, you may have heard about Highland Park meeting our COA, or low and moderate income housing obligation, as mandated by the state. In an effort to help the borough meet this obligation, we're partnering with a company called CGP&H, who will manage the Highland Park Home Improvement Program. CGP&H is a specialist in this field. They provide major systems upgrades to existing households, focusing on issues of safety and code. And the completed projects will be counted towards our COA obligation. The upgrades, which are valued up to $18,000 for such things as a new roof, are at no cost to the household. The program is available based on income, but please note the income guidelines are very generous. You may take a close look at them. You may be eligible. You may know somebody who is eligible. Please pass the word to your neighbors and your friends. The program requires a deed restriction for 10 years, and Corrine will speak more about that in detail. The program would be run like a lottery, and enrollment is limited, so we encourage everybody to fill out an application as soon as possible. And again, Corrine will discuss that in more detail. I believe the lottery, though, is scheduled for June 11th. So correct. All right. And Corrine Markulin is here tonight from CGP&H to present the program. And then we'll have each presenter talk for about 15 minutes, and then afterwards we'll open the floor up to a Q&A. And then if you'd like to afterwards, split off into different groups if you have further questions. We're also promoting the New Jersey Comfort Partners program. This focuses on weatherization and other energy efficiencies. It's fully funded by the state and available to all households that meet the income guidelines. Brian O'Connor is here from CMC Energy. They partnered with our local energy provider, PSEMG, to offer the program to our residents. They're here this evening to present this program and answer any questions. And you've probably heard about It's in Our Power, Highland Park, which was launched several weeks ago. Matt Kaplan is here to speak on that and answer any questions. The program is an extension of Highland Park's serious commitment to sustainability and to reduce our environmental impact. Homeowners will receive a reduced cost, thorough energy audit. Low interest loans and rebates are available. No income guidelines are imposed on this particular program. We have applications available tonight, or you may call the companies directly for applications or further information. You can go to the Highland Park Borough website, hpborough.com. Thank you. And there's a link on the right-hand side. This is Home Improvements. Go to that, and it has the phone numbers listed and the email or website addresses. And just encourage everybody, please improve Highland Park by taking advantage of one of these great home improvement and energy efficiency initiatives. We really believe that there's a program out there that could be right for just about any household. And thank you very much, and I'll open this over to you.
I want to thank Councilwoman Malkovitz for the great introduction, and I want to thank the borough for allowing us to present this program that the borough is providing to the residents. And the residents are very lucky that Highland Park is providing this program. I just wanted to give you some information that I have up here. I have program brochures that I encourage everyone to take before they leave if you don't have one already. I have a program flyer that's a nice overview, and I have program information handouts. And this is a very good overview of the program. So I'm going to just start passing these around to make sure that everyone gets one of these. I'm Corrine Markulin. I'm with Community Grants Planning and Housing. And as the councilwoman said, we have been retained by the borough to administer the program. Just to give you a quick background, we have over 17 years experience in this type of administering publicly funded programs, and I myself have been doing it for 14 years. And these are wonderful programs. The purpose of the program is to assist low and moderate income households to address safety, health, and code substandard conditions in their homes. The types of systems that could be assisted are roof, electric, plumbing, heating, structural work, safety items like stair risers, railings, lead paint remediation in your home. If your home was built prior to 1978 and you participate in the program will conduct a lead risk assessment to evaluate if there are lead hazards in your home, and if there are, then we can correct those. That's lead paint hazards. The program also can address weatherization like windows, insulation, etc. And I understand there are 2 other programs here that also address energy items. I'm going to pass around examples of different types of home improvement repairs, and I will also show them on the screen at the end. So if anyone wants to look at these, you're welcome to look at them. They're just different samples of the types of repairs that can be given or can be done. You ask why should you participate in the program? Well, the 2 main reasons is 1, the funding. The program provides 0%, no monthly payment, no interest, forgivable loan. Okay, and for single-family homes, you could get up to $18,000. For multi-family homes and investor properties, up to $15,000 per unit as needed to address these substandard conditions. When the second benefit is that you get expert assistance throughout the course of processing your case, including a building inspector, so a licensed building inspector, to help you through the pre-construction phase, to identify the type of work that is needed, just to prepare very detailed work specifications so the contractor understands the type of work that's needed. He knows, he understands the grade. The program provides construction grade, so we don't spec out cheap products and we don't spec out luxury products. We spec out construction grade products, which is a product that will last for years to come. And then besides preparing the work specification, the program inspector will review the bids to make sure they're fair bids and to help the homeowner select the contractor in the bidding process. Then during the construction phase, the contractor is not paid until he does the work properly. He's entitled to a midpoint payment and a final payment. And the program inspector will review that work to make sure that it meets the requirements of the work specifications. So besides the funding, which in itself is awesome, where else can you get a 0% loan that if you live in the home for 10 years is forgiven at the end? I mean, it's a great deal, especially in these economic times. But you also get the benefit of having an expert program inspector throughout the process. The average homeowner wouldn't know when construction work is done if it's done properly or not. Those are the 2 benefits. This program is open to owner-occupied units. It's also open to rental units, though the owner of the property must apply. And the occupant, whether it's an owner-occupied unit or a rental-occupied unit, has to be income eligible. Now, in the program information handout that I sent around, the income limits are on there, on the 2nd page. Income is determined, that these follow the state income guidelines. That's the Council on Affordable Housing. And the income limits are for all household members 18 and over, and it's based on the gross annual income. You ask what's included in income. That would be your wages. That would be regular overtime if you have regular overtime. It would be pension, Social Security, if that's applicable. It would also be child support, alimony, if you own your own business, based on your profit and loss statement of your business income. Now, in regards to assets in the bank, we do not count the assets. If you have $30,000 in the bank, that's wonderful. We know people are saving for their futures, for their retirements, for their emergencies. We do count, though, interest and dividend on the amount in your bank. And if you do not have any interest on that, then we do it as a 2% imputed interest on any amount. When you have more than $5,000 in assets, it's a 2% imputed interest. So please don't think that if you have money in the bank, it's going to disqualify you. For instance, if you have, $10,000 in the bank, it's just 2% on that. We would not count the full $10,000 in there. The other eligibility requirements are that your property taxes are paid current, that your property does require assistance in at least one of the major systems that I previously mentioned, and that you have sufficient equity in your home to cover your current liens, mortgages, home equity loans, and then this program loan. So you would have to have at least $18,000 in property equity to go through the program, and we can help you figure that out. We base it on the tax assessed value times equalization ratio in the municipality, but we'll help you figure that out. The funding terms, as I said, up to $15,000 for a single-family home. Up to $18,000 for a single-family home, and up to $15,000 per unit for multifamily and investor units. Once again, 0%, no interest. We do not check your credit score. This does not count towards your credit score, and this is no cost to you. So it's a great deal. There's no cost to apply. If the work needed does exceed the program funding limit, then we will ask the homeowner if they can contribute. If they can't, we'll try to omit any item that is not absolutely needed, and you can always seek other funding sources as well. When the mechanism to secure the loan for a single-family home, it's a mortgage and mortgage note. As I said, there's no monthly payments, but the municipality has to put a lien on your home to let them know if you move out during the 10-year period or transfer title. So it's just there so they know that you continue to own the home. For investor units and for multifamily owner-occupied homes, there's also a deed restriction. Rental units do have to be considered affordable for the full 10-year period. So for rental homes, the rents to be affordable according to the state guidelines, and the tenants also have to be income eligible. And if you have a rental property with a deed restriction, the deed restriction does follow the property during the full 10 years. There's more detail in the program information handout that if you did have to sell within the 10-year period, there are ways that there are a couple exceptions where you could sell and the buyer can assume the balance of the lien. Also keep in mind that if by chance you do have to sell and pay back during the 10 years, once again, 0% interest, it would be due at time of sale. And these improvements to your home should ultimately make it easier for you to sell your home and compared to a neighboring house that needs repairs, and also you get to enjoy these great benefits in the meantime. Some of the benefits, in regards to if you put in a heating system or new windows, those can help reduce your utility and energy costs. There's a list in the information handout besides the overview I gave of the eligible improvements. It'll also tell you which items are not eligible. So let me explain the process here. If you believe that you would qualify and you're interested in applying, we have a one-page pre-application. It's really easy to fill out. And after this presentation, I'll stick around if anybody wants to fill it out this evening and give it to me. Since we are expecting, when the word really gets out there, that we're going to have a lot of people interested in the program, according to the state guidelines, we're doing a random selection process. So all pre-apps submitted by June 11th will be put into this random selection process that's being done through the computer. So it's truly random. It's a computerized system. And that's only to tell us which order to process the applications. After the June 11th lottery drawing, the random selection process, anyone applying after that will be put in the applicant pool subsequent to these that were submitted prior to June 11th, and then it will be a first-come, first-served invite. Once you fill out the pre-application, we'll look at it to kind of look up, to give an overview to see if we think you would qualify, and if so, we'll send you a formal application package. So to qualify, we're going to look to see if your property taxes are paid current, you have sufficient equity, and you have, you're within the income limit. So when we send you the formal application package, it's about 6 pages. Please don't let it be overwhelming. We'll help you through that process, and this is the hardest part. Once you get over that, the program does really the rest of the work for you. So then you'll fill out the application. It will include an enclosure checklist that will tell you what to provide as support documentation and what's applicable to you. You'll submit that. We'll assign a case number because we do respect everybody's confidentiality, and we do not give out your financial information to anyone. So you're assigned a case number, you're assigned a case manager who will process your application, determine if you're eligible or not. We'll notify you of that. Presuming you're determined eligible, then we will schedule the program inspector to come out and do a comprehensive inspection. He'll meet with you, you could tell him what you believe your house needs, and he'll determine what your house needs to bring it up to a safe condition and to address any substandard code items. Then he'll prepare a very detailed scope of work, which you will get along with the list of contractors for your review and approval. The list of contractors, we work with contractors who apply to the program, and they have to meet certain guidelines. They have to be registered with the state, they have to have a Consumer Affairs Home Improvement License, they have to be properly insured, provide a municipal reference. If there's any lead work, they have to be certified to address lead hazards. And so the contractor has to meet all these requirements to be awarded a job. You could add to the list, take away from the list, or accept the contractor list as written. We then put it out to bid once you approve the scope of work and the list of contractors. It's a 3-week bidding process. When the bids come in, our program inspector reviews it. He'll determine who's the lowest responsible bidder. We don't say the lowest bidder because we don't want a contractor coming in, lowballing, doing substandard work, or putting in substandard products. They have to meet the specifications of the program, and the program is there to protect you. So when we determine the lowest responsible bidder, the program inspector will review that with the homeowner. Now the homeowner has the option to go with a higher bidder, but they'll have to pay the difference between what the program will fund with the lowest responsible bidder and then whichever bidder contractor you select. Then the program inspector and the contractor and the homeowner meets through a pre-construction meeting where you'll finalize the details, sign the construction agreement, sign the program mortgage note. By business law, you have 3 days rescission period to change your mind at that point. So after the 3 days, presuming you don't change your mind, and we've only had, I think, less than 1% change their mind because they were planning to sell their home, then after those 3 days, the construction starts. The contractor applies for the permits, he pays for the permits, and that's part of the program cost. So there's no permit cost to you. And they have 30 days to begin their work and then 60 days to complete it from when they begin. They have to pull permits properly, and then the municipality closes out those permits, and the program inspector reviews the work to make sure it's done properly. The homeowner signs off on the work when it's done, and the contractor gets paid. And then you get a 1-year warranty with the contractor, you get the product warranties for as long as they are, and you get to enjoy the benefits of the program for years to come. And I know 10 years may seem long, but I have a quick story. Many years ago, well, actually 11 years ago, one of our programs, the very first person in the program, said, listen, I'm 70-something years old. What if I die? And so if you die, then your heirs could either occupy the property if they're income eligible, or they could sell it and pay back the program. So he went into the program, he got all the benefits of the program, he's been enjoying them, and he called me about 6 months ago and he said, okay, my 10 years are up, can I reapply? And he's now 88 now. So that time really, really flew, because I remember I was his case manager. I think that's it. Do you have any questions?
I wanted to ask you, you said it's, you know, there's like a list of contractors you can add to or take away. Just say, you know, we've spoken to a few people maybe about a project we were considering, but you know how it just wasn't the right time. How will we know which contractors, you know, are from the scope that we can select? How will we know? Or is it up to us to have some input as to which contractors would do the job? I mean, is that an option to us, or are we limited to what's there? How will we know who puts the bids in, who's in this, you know, pool of contractors?
We'll provide you with a list of contractors. Now, we only work with general contractors because it's easier on the homeowner to work with one main contractor who's responsible for all the work rather than working with a variety of contractors. We want it to be as easy and as least invasive on the homeowner as possible. Of course, understand during the construction process, the contractor is going to be in and out of your house, but they are to clean up after themselves each day they're there, and then of course clean up at the end. But we'll provide you with a list of contractors, their names, their addresses. You're welcome to check them out. The contractors do have to come to your home to do a bid inspection. That they'll have you sign off that they were at your home, and you'll get to meet them then during the bid inspection. And then when the bids come in, we'll review the program inspector will review the bids.
Okay, that was my question. So it's up to us to choose a few. I mean, how does the selection process?
We're going to give you a long list.
And it's up to us to select a few. Like, when they say 3, like you should always select like at least 3.
We have to invite at least 3, but we always recommend to the homeowner to invite as many as possible to get the best ample bids in.
All right,
so, you know, there's maybe some people might at times take someone off the list because they just don't like them personally, or add somebody to the list because they know people. And we do encourage local contractors into the program. So if you know any contractors, general contractors in the area, please refer them to us.
How would you get in touch with you?
Yes, yes. I'm going to give you our contact information. I also want to, forgive me, I want to go over the income limits. In that program information handout, you'll see it's based on household size. So if you're a one-person household, the maximum income you can make is $58,016. A two-person household, $66,304. A three-person household, $74,592. A four-person household, $82,880. A five-person household, the maximum income is $89,510. A six-person household, the maximum income allowed is $96,141. A seven-person household, the maximum income allowed is $102,771. An eight-person household, the maximum income allowed is $109,402. And if anyone has more than 9-person household, just call us and we'll calculate the income for that, because honestly, we do get larger households. Contact information now, so these pre-apps, you could fill them out tonight, or you could fax them to us, email them to us, mail them to us. The information is right on the pre-app. Please just get them to us by June 11th. You could, if you want to speak to me directly, I'm at 609-371-1937, extension 20. Don't worry, you don't have to write it down. I have my card, but this is for the benefit of those on television. So 609-371-1937, extension 20. We also have a case manager who could take your calls, and she has a direct line, where for me you have to go through a receptionist. Her number is 609-371-2151. For those who are not attending today's presentation, you're at home, you see this, we also have a local number you could call, 732-993-8850. That's 732-993-8850. Leave your name, address, phone number, email address, and we'll send you a complete application package. Any other questions? Yes? The lady first.
We have a couple of condominium buildings in the borough, and there are a large number of senior citizens on fixed incomes living there. Would they qualify for the program? If they're
Yes, they can. Condos can qualify. So you're saying that they're owner occupied by a senior citizen. Yes. Yes, condos are eligible.
Does one have to be present for the June 11th dawn?
No, we're going to be doing in our office. You're welcome to come to the office if you want. Our office is actually in East Windsor, but it's going to be computerized, and we will notify everyone who has submitted a pre-application where they were in the process. And there's a good chance we could even invite the majority of the people that submit the pre-apps. We just want to make sure that we have an order in case we get, order in case we have influx.
Yeah, just clarify that. You're just creating an order in case
It's just an order to process the cases. But we're going to have up to 50 openings. So depending on how many pre-apps we get, and we are going to invite more than the openings because not everybody submits their application and not everybody will be eligible. So we're prepared to invite more than 50 households to apply.
Okay, so I filled out a pre-application at the street fair.
Yes, I have yours.
Okay, thank you. Do I need to fill out the whole 6-page thing?
Yeah,
before
you don't need to
June
fill out
11th?
anything
Okay.
now. We have to wait until the June 11th selection process.
Okay.
Did you complete your own?
Yes, I have her.
Okay.
Yes, I have it, yes.
Thank you.
I noticed some of the conditions in here which would make a property ineligible. I may have a condition in my
It's
case.
not saying that make the property ineligible, it just would not be an eligible improvement to be funded.
Okay, what I thought I saw was that if there were, example, like any living facilities in the
Oh,
basement.
that, okay, okay.
I happen to have, and it was there when we bought the house, like half of a bathroom.
Okay,
Very
that's,
old, very, okay, that, if we made part of the work to remove that, would that remove that as a restriction on the process?
that's a good question. First I want to go back to, if you have that in the basement, we're
Yeah.
not saying you're ineligible,
Right, I
we just
don't
have to
know
make
if-
sure
I
that
don't
it's
know.
okay with the borough.
I honestly don't know if it's approved.
Yeah.
But
You know,
in
there's
case,
mail left. Mail left.
yeah, in case it isn't, okay, would that be considered bringing the property up to code? Because,
Typically, if something is considered, and I don't want to use the word,
well, it's.
you don't want to use that word,
Yeah.
so we would say that you have to take care of it before you come into the program.
Okay.
Because the program really doesn't do conversions.
Mhm.
However, if it was there before you bought the property, you may be okay. You just have to speak to your zoning officer, your construction officer. Because we work with this in other programs where there are existing bathrooms or
It looks
existing.
like it was put in there before they invented writing.
The big concern is we don't want bedrooms and basements or
Yeah,
attics.
yeah.
They're
No.
fire hazards.
It's not.
You know, things like that.
It's not anything like that, it's just literally a half bath.
I can't speak for the municipality, but
Yeah.
we're going to say that, you know,
All right.
Should we continue with the
Oh, sure,
presentation
okay.
and then do questions afterwards so that?
okay, that's fine. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
No, no,
It's a
no.
little longer.
I'll just sit right here. Brian, actually, why don't you? This is Brian O'Connor.
Okay, my name is Brian O'Connor. I'm the Technical Project Manager for a company called CMC Energy Services. And CMC are one of 5 contractors that are contracted to the utility companies in New Jersey to run the Comfort Partners program. The Comfort Partners program is it's a statewide program, and it's sponsored by all 6 utility companies in the state. The program is designed to reduce energy usage for qualified customers, thereby reducing the cost of the utility bills for gas and electricity. And as I say, it's a statewide program sponsored by the utility companies, and the program is free to all qualified applicants. There's a qualification sheet over here that you can pick up if you want to take a look at it. And I've also got a brochure here that you can take a copy of as well. qualification guidelines, I'll give you just a brief idea as to the type of qualification we're talking about. If you have a family of 4 and you've got a yearly income at or less than $51,863, the Comfort Partners program is open to you, and everything in the program is free. And let me just give you an idea as to the type of things that the program offers. When you qualify for the program, this program is open to both homeowners and renters. You qualify based on income, and or you are already qualified by other programs. For instance, if you're already in the Home Energy Assistance Program, which is HEAP, Lifeline, PAD, if you're part of Section 8 housing, or you're part of the Universal Services Fund, which is also administered by utility companies, then you qualify automatically for the Comfort Partners program. So, when you qualify, you can qualify over the phone by calling the Comfort Partners number. When you qualify, we send an auditor to your house. The audit takes about 2.5 to 3 hours. And typically, what the auditor will do is, he'll spend about a half an hour sitting with the customer doing some education to find out what that customer's needs are in terms of heating, cooling, air sealing, insulation. And when the energy education part is finished, then the auditor will walk around the house and he'll take notes on what he considers to be measures that should be taken to make your home more energy efficient. Part of this program too involves health and safety issues. So as part of the program, the auditor will do combustion testing on the furnace, the boiler, the water heater, to make sure there's no carbon monoxide issues, no draft issues, no spillage. He'd also do an evaluation of the insulation in the home. He'll do an evaluation of air sealing. Is there a need for window replacement, door replacement? In order to evaluate the house properly, they also do what's known as a blower door test, which is a depressurization test of your home. And this will enable the auditor to find out where the leaks are coming from and how best to address them. Anything that the auditor recommends in the program, if you qualify, is free. Now, while the auditor is there, he'll also install some minor items, such as carbon monoxide detectors, compact fluorescent bulbs. If you have the old incandescent bulbs, he'll swap them out for new ones, the compact fluorescents. He'll also install energy efficient shower heads, programmable thermostats, and he'll monitor your fridge and freezer to see if they're non-energy efficient. If the fridge or freezer is non-energy efficient, the program will supply you with a replacement fridge or freezer of the same size or slightly smaller, depending on what you want, and that also is totally free. The refrigerator and freezer replacement is based on kWh usage, so the monitor will tell him whether or not you qualify, and it's an automatic replacement if you qualify. If the auditor determines, for instance, that there's air sealing or insulation required in the home, he'll measure the amount of insulation that's needed. He'll indicate where the air sealing is required. He'll take a look at the windows and doors. He'll figure out whether or not weather stripping is sufficient for the windows and doors. But if he determines that it's not, then we'll recommend replacement. All windows, doors, etc. are free in this program if you qualify. Now, when and if the auditor recommends measures to be installed, certified contractors are sent out to your home. These contractors are BPI certified. They'll carry out all the measures required, and at the end of the process, when all of the measures are completed, we send out a quality assurance person to make sure that the right materials were used, that all of the measures were done, that the homeowner or tenant is satisfied with the work, and that there's no health and safety issues. So basically that's a brief outline of the way the program works. As far as health and safety issues are concerned, the utility companies are particularly, you could say they're paranoid about these issues now, because you hear so many cases of deaths through carbon monoxide poisoning. And we're going to make every effort to make sure that every home that we go to is safe when we leave. If, for instance, we come across a situation where you've got significant carbon monoxide, or you've got draft issues, or you could have spillage from a furnace or a water heater, or in fact a leaking water heater, we'll evaluate all of the units. And if we determine that those units are replaceable based on their efficiency or their condition, safety-wise, then we'll apply to the utility company in question. The utility company in your case is PSE&G. We'll apply to PSE&G for replacement, and if PSE&G approve it on the grounds of health and safety, they'll replace the furnace, the boiler, or the water heater free of charge. So basically that's the way the program works. I have the federal guidelines for income, and if you'd like to pick up one of the brochures, there's a telephone number here for the purposes of providing information to those people that aren't here tonight. There's a telephone number that you can call. It gets you directly to my office. And the people that answer the phone will schedule, if you qualify, and they will determine on the phone whether or not you qualify. If you qualify for the program, they'll give you all the information regarding application forms, and they'll send the auditor form out. The telephone number is 877-654-9186. Does anyone have any questions?
It sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, a lot of people do say that, but in fact...
I mean, can we hold that?
Okay.
Would you mind, can we hold that
Sure.
question? I wanted Matt to, I know Matt's got some stuff later
Sure.
on tonight, so I wanted him to go, and then we could do, let's open the floor after that to Q&A, and then if there's more detailed stuff, we could split off in different groups.
All right.
All right? Matt, introduce
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Matthew Kaplan. I work for the Borough of Highland Park. I administer a grant campaign that's funded by the EPA to basically promote and facilitate the reduction of carbon emissions across all those different sectors of Highland Park, residential, business, industrial, and municipal, and schools sectors as well. I guess what's probably most apt for me to talk about tonight is one of the main things that we're asking of residents in town is to do a home energy assessment and to basically make upgrades to your home that are going to improve it, that are going to save you money, improve the comfort of your home, and also in turn reduce your carbon emissions and help us reach our carbon emissions goal for the town. As far as Comfort Partners goes, it's very similar. I mean, that's basically what we're asking you to do. It's just Comfort Partners is income qualified. So if you qualify for the program, doing Comfort Partners is really fulfilling what we're asking you to do regardless. The COA thing is a little bit separate. It has a different intent. It covers energy usage, but it's really more just to upgrade the home in general, and it really functions separately. But the energy audit process that we're asking homeowners to do for the campaign, for the It's in Our Power Highland Park campaign, there's a banner over at 27 that you may have seen as well, is essentially very similar to what the gentleman described from Comfort Partners. A BPI auditor comes to your home, performs a series of testing using a blower door to depressurize the home, as well as doing combustion safety testing to basically put together a report and determine what upgrades would be cost effective for you to make, and then basically presenting you with an option, of which upgrades you can make. In Comfort Partners, if you're income qualified, they're going to pay for it. If you do what's called the New Jersey Home Performance with Energy Star program, which is the program that we're asking residents to participate in if they don't qualify for Comfort Partners, is basically they'll give you a rebate depending on the energy savings that the improvements to your home are going to be projected to save. They'll give you a rebate up to 50% of that amount, and they'll also give you 0-interest financing up to $10,000. So, if you can do Comfort Partners, I would do that because everything's going to be free. And it sounds like it's too good to be true, but you are paying for the stuff. When you get your PSE&G bill, there's a societal benefits tax that's put on there. So everybody that pays their PSE&G, they pay these rates. It goes to this fund, and this is what a lot of these funds are used for. It does sound too good to be true to some extent, but I promise you that it is true. So essentially, the Highland Park wanted to sort of streamline the process for participating in the Home Performance with Energy Star program, which, as I mentioned, is just an alternative to Comfort Partners if you're not income qualified for Comfort Partners. And so we did have one home energy auditor that responded to an RFP that we put out to offer specifically audits on behalf of the town and be the sort of the borough endorsed home energy auditor, and they've agreed to do those audits for $49 in town. There's about 200 contractors that participate in this program, though, so you don't have to use the borough, that particular contractor. If there's another company you want to use or someone you know that participates in that program, you feel comfortable with. The main accreditation to participating in that program is being BPI certified and having your company be BPI accredited, which is the same credential for Comfort Partners. BPI is the Building Performance Institute. It's a nonprofit organization that's like the national standard for contractors doing energy efficiency assessments and improvements. So whether you're doing Comfort Partners or whether you're doing the Home Performance with Energy Star program, you're going to be using a BPI certified or accredited contractor in either case, and that's really the important thing. So for those of you that aren't income qualified, for Comfort Partners or for the co-op upgrades, you can still take advantage of a program that can help you reduce your energy usage, save money on your energy bills, increase the comfort of your home, and also increases its property value. And so there are rebates, as I mentioned, and financing available as well. And you can find out more information for that on the borough's website. And then you can go also to ourpowerhighlandpark.org, which is the website for the campaign that we're running, ourpowerhighlandpark.org. Or if you want to go directly to the auditor's website that the town endorsed, you can go to cielpower.com, cielpower.com/HighlandPark. But you can also, basically the Comfort Partners program, you see it has New Jersey Clean Energy logo on there as well. The Clean Energy program is sort of a consortium of different programs. So one of it is Comfort Partners, another one is this Home Performance with Energy Star program that I'm mentioning now. So you can look at the New Jersey Clean Energy program website as well, and you can see, there's the different programs that are listed on there, and you can look up any number of contractors that participate in this program on there, and you can work with any of them, and you'd still be, fulfilling what we're asking you to do, and as well as taking advantage of something that can really help you save money. So, okay. So questions there?
Should we just open the floor for any questions?
So after I saw the banner, I checked out the website.
Yeah.
One thing it says that if you're changing your furnace over, you have to do it by June 15th to be eligible. Is there any chance that we can actually have it done by June 15th?
That's through the Home Performance program or something?
I think it was on.
I can answer that question.
Yeah.
What's that?
That has to do with oil.
Converting from oil to gas.
Converting from oil to oil. It's a restriction. It's a restriction on they were letting you convert from oil to oil for a little while, which no one in their right mind would do. But there was a provision for that. And,
so that only that one has to be done.
That's right. That's right.
It can be to any of the presenters, correct? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So you're saying your program is only for people who don't qualify for the Comfort
No, anybody
Partners?
could do it, but why, if you could get the
Okay.
upgrades paid for by Comfort Partners, if you're income qualified, I might as well. Comfort Partners is specifically trying to address energy efficiency, as is the Home Performance and Energy Star. The COA upgrade initiative, its main intent is not to address energy efficiency. It has that byproduct. You are going to improve the energy usage of the home as a result of improving other aspects of it. But its program is, it's geared at just basically having a number of safe, affordable, code-certified, low, affordable housing within Highland Park. And there's a certain quota that Highland Park needs to meet. Part of that is energy efficiency, but that it's not just solely geared towards energy efficiency, whereas these two programs are.
Okay.
Quick question. You said that if you don't qualify because those income guidelines were pretty low, you said that you would be reimbursed 50% for
Up to
upgrades.
50%.
And that you said 10,000. Is that 10,000 after the 50, before
No,
the 50?
that's an addition, but again, that's depending on the size of your project. So they'll reimburse you, there's 3 different tiers level of percentage rebates. So they'll give you either, I think, 10% or 25% or 50% of the total value of your project in a rebate up to $5,000, depending on what type of project you're doing. If your project is saving your, you have to look at the exact numbers, but if your project is saving you 10% per year on your energy bill, they'll give you 20% of your cost of your project in a rebate. If it's saving, 25% or 20%, they'll give you more percentage rebate. But it's a total rebate up to $5,000. So you'd have to be spending 10 to get 5. You know what I mean? And that $10,000 project would have to at least have the net result of reducing your energy usage by a given amount for them to give you that rebate amount. The financing is separate though. So hypothetically, you could do a $20,000 upgrade project to your home, completely retrofit and upgrade your whole home. You could get a 0% interest loan for $10,000 of it. Because you'd be in the highest level of rebate, you get $5,000 in rebate back because 50% of 10. My math is off, but the bottom line is the rebate is the rebate is a percentage of your total cost of your project, but you can get a 0 interest financing in addition to the rebate. So if you spent $20,000, it would be capped. No, what I was saying is right, but you'd be capped. But basically, if you did a $10,000 project feasibly, you could literally get $5,000 in rebates for it, and you take a loan out to put up $10,000 for it, and then just pay that down. So you could literally get $5,000 to cover half of it, and then pay and then pay down the other $5,000 on a 0 interest loan. So yeah.
Now, do these programs work in conjunction with each other? I know Comfort Partners is going to take care of everything. Really the preferred way to go if you qualify.
Yeah.
But
they're like steps and stairs, really. You enter at a certain level, and then if you don't qualify for that, you go to the next level.
Right. I understand that, but let's say I'm working on a COA project, and I'm working through them, and we've got funding through them, and then can I get additional funding through you?
Yeah, you can't do Comfort Partners and Home Performance because those are both clean energy programs, to my knowledge. There's nothing that prohibits you from doing the clean energy program, any programs, if you're doing upgrades through COA, to my knowledge.
But I could do the COA project, and if something comes in above what they're willing to spend for it, use your money to do that.
Hypothetically, yeah, I don't see it.
Or adjust their project so that your money pays for what you pay for. Okay.
I mean, unless you know of a restriction, but no, I don't think there's anything that would prohibit you from doing it.
I would defer to Corrine only for one reason on that pre-app. There is a question that says, have you benefited from any other projects of such? But I think that what Matt's saying is if you do the COA first, and then you find, that there's other things you want to do, why not take advantage of a no interest or a low interest loan and some rebates? So, Corrine?
That's okay.
Do you know if they're doing COA, is there any restriction from them also doing upgrades through Comfort Partners or through the Home Performance with Energy Star programs that the BPU runs to improve energy efficiency above and beyond the COA upgrades?
I'm not familiar, but we could certainly check that.
I know there's a question on that pre-app that asks, have you benefited from any other such programs, but I don't know what...
I think the reason why we ask that is because with COA, the municipality gets a COA credit. So if you had assistance from any other program that provided that took a COA credit, we can't double dip on the COA credits. That's all. So there's no penalty if you get assistance through another program. There's no penalty with that.
Right.
It's just that if you got assistance through another program that took COA credit.
Right. You can't.
Next question for you. Are these available to non-residential properties? I'm talking about particular First Day Squad. We have a building over there. We've got a project somewhere in the process of energy efficiency, rebuilding our building.
That's being done through a county grant program.
Yeah, that. But I'm wondering if your program could help fund some of this energy.
There are commercial building upgrades and municipal building upgrade programs that are also run as part of the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. In fact, this building, as well as 4 other borough buildings, Borough Hall, Public Works, this past year had about $175,000 worth of upgrades done to them through the Clean Energy Program's direct install program. So yeah, there are other programs. You can use programs for commercial, industrial, municipal buildings to do this.
Who would I talk to about that?
I know that it's a county you know, in terms of it being a county grant project, you know, it was.
I mean, the county grant is one thing. We've got that. I mean, at least the ones we have. You know, it's approved. It's specified. It's. But we've got about $500,000.
I know that when we looked at borough buildings to do, that wasn't something that was considered because we were told that there was being other upgrades being done to as part of the county grant program. The borough has to put up 30% matching funds to direct install, and then the program will pay for 70% of the upgrades. So your councilwoman, you know what I mean, probably, you know, in terms of, you know, you know, in terms of wanting to make upgrades to a municipal building, because there's still going to be some cash outlay on the part of the town in matching funds for the program. So,
okay.
I don't think this is specifically for you, but I think it's probably for Corrine and Brian. I looked through these lists of the eligible improvements, and I think my house requires something in every single category. It's a 98-year-old house, and I've got broken windows, single pane. The windows are all 98 years old, and some of the sashes have fallen down, so it definitely needs, you know, it has no insulation whatsoever. It has cracks under the doors and very old siding, and I could just list like 50 things that. So the thing is, I'm a single mom. I have a teenage daughter, so we're 2 in the household right now. And according to the first program, I definitely qualify income-wise, but it only will be for 50 homes. So, or 50 people will win the lotteries to get this, you know.
Well, actually, the lottery is just to establish a processing order.
Okay.
It's very unlikely that all first 50 we invite are all going to apply and all will qualify.
Okay.
We've been finding that when we invite, you know, we have to send out at least 2 invites for every spot, because not everybody is going to take the time to submit the documentation, or they may realize they're over income, or they just don't, you know, whatever reasons, that we don't always get them. But actually, you brought up a very good point that I wanted to mention, is that if your home requires more, you know, X number of work, this is great that you have these multiple programs here, because we can partner on the programs to do the different work, where one program could take care of your energy
that was
needs,
my next question,
and our program could take care of the other items that the other program can't take care of.
Like, how do we do triage? I mean, do we figure out what the 18 years? I can't afford, you know, $100,000 to do everything that needs to be done or more. So
if I can recommend something, and maybe I'll chime in, or John, if you know about this too. After the COA work is done, say that project is over, then we need to send in. Well, you guys do an audit afterwards, or then do we send in our code guy to you know, quantify that indeed this work has been done, and that now this unit will account towards our COA obligation. And then,
it'll be up to code.
yeah, but so somebody has to come in and do that audit. Is it an audit? It's
not really. Well, with ours, it'd be that we identify the scope of work that needs to be done, and then the work will be completed. The municipality closes out the permits, and the C of A then shows it's complete. What I'm thinking, if you need X number of items, and forgive me, I wasn't here during your presentation, I was talking to a contractor, but your program deals with energy items, correct?
Right.
So if you, the amount of, the type of items that your program does is more limited than our program, I would say that we could determine what you need, and we could work that together, where the programs, the items that could go through his program can be addressed as program, and the items through our, then the balance can be addressed through the borough program, and this way to work it out.
I just wanted to make sure that whoever ends up like confirming that in fact it's now a COA unit, that I don't know if it's called an audit or whatever, code person goes there and checks that off.
Right, the program.
I just want to make sure that it's understood that this work was done by this party and that work was done by another party.
Oh yeah, that will all be documented.
Okay, that was my only concern.
Howard, you look like you were going to say something else.
No, I was just going to say that the Comfort Partners program is specifically energy saving measures. However, that does take into account windows, doors, insulation, air sealing, and of course it has the added advantage of, if you qualify for it, everything, including furnace, boiler and water heater replacement is free. The furnace, boiler and water heater replacement, which would be considered like big ticket items, they don't come automatically with the program. In other words, if your furnace is 25 years old and it's been giving you problems, we have to evaluate it, and then it's done on a case-by-case basis. We will go to the utility company and ask for their approval to replace it. Generally, if there's a health and safety issue, such as carbon monoxide or backdrafting or whatever, they will approve it. And if they do approve it, it's free. So,
What is the income? Is it the same as the co-op program?
I would say it's probably a little more.
What is the guideline for two? Also,
We have a sheet for that.
okay.
And just let you know, we have experience partnering with other programs. In some areas we've partnered with USDA rural development, and it works well. So I'm sure that we could work this out here.
Okay, thanks.
And then this way you could get, the most.
Okay, I heard when you said that there was an $18,000 limit and they had 30 days to start the work and then 60 days to complete the project. Now, is there a time frame for your program and a time frame for your program? And also, is there a cap? Because I understand the gentleman said there's no cost if it's approved. If PSE&G says that you need a water heater or whatever. But I mean, is that at no cost to the homeowner? I'm just curious. I mean, is there a cap? Is there a certain amount? Like your program, the limit is $18,000, and like I said, they have the 30 days to start, 60 days to complete. Is there a time frame of your program? Is there a cutoff as far as monetary value and yours also?
Well, as far as, sorry.
I was going to say the 30 days to start, 60 days to complete after they start. That's the construction period.
Right,
okay.
And then the $18,000 is the monetary amount. That's the limit, right? Okay, so that the same information.
But we have
I'd
1
like
year
to
to complete the project, from the time that the audit is done until all of the work is completed. You have 1 year. So it's a longer time frame. And sometimes it's necessary because with qualification for, as I say, the bigger ticket items, it can take a while for everything to get approved and installed. But generally, from the time that we do the audit until everything is complete and the job is signed off on, generally it takes about 90 to 100 days, which is about 3 to 4 months.
But regardless of the time frame, if the need is there, that item will be replaced regardless of cost.
There will be no cost.
Right. Okay.
No cost whatsoever. There's a seasonal spending component, what's known as a seasonal spending component, and basically this is done based on your energy usage. Each file or each home has a certain amount of energy usage, and there's a dollar amount put to that usage. So when the auditor goes to your home, he's got a fairly good idea as to how much we can actually spend on that home to bring it up to energy efficient standards. But in general terms, for instance, furnace, boiler or water heater replacement is outside the seasonal spending. So it doesn't matter how much the furnace or the boiler or the water heater costs to replace, there is no seasonal spending requirement for that. So it is what it is. If the utility companies say they're going to replace it, then the actual cost of it doesn't come into the scenario at all. They will just do it.
So if you have worry-free service through PSE&G and you have certain, some of these items covered through the worry-free service, you're still eligible because they say they'll replace this and they'll include it in your monthly utility bill.
Yep,
but if you apply for this program and you're approved, or what if you don't meet the income guidelines, then is there at a cost to someone that applies for it? Okay.
You must comply with the qualification.
Okay, so if not, you're just out there.
Yeah. But then there are other programs.
And I wanted to clarify that the 30 days to start and the 60 days to complete is just the construction phase. So the same as going through the whole process, once you apply, And once you've submitted all the documentation to determine your eligibility, it's more like a 6-month, 8-month process, because it does have to go out, the inspector has to inspect, prepare the work, write it, and go out to bid. So I just want to make sure
Don't
that
take you 90 days.
it's not going to take 90 days to go through the whole
I
process.
understand. Thank you.
What happens if, let's say, the cost of what's needed to bring my house into code under the COLA program is greater than $18,000, and I'm willing to supply that much of it? You're going to ask me to come back to the rest of it, but I don't have it. So you're going to reduce the size of the project to fit under the $18,000 cap. Am I getting myself in trouble because I'm going to have the building inspector come at the end of this and I'm still not up to code?
No, well, first of all,
because there's 3 other things I couldn't do.
well, first of all, there's the other programs. So that's where the partnering, this comes in really handy. We've done that where the amount of work needed exceeds the program funding limit we're working on, and then we've partnered, like I said before, with USDA Rural Development, and in this case you have the other programs here. So we first try to partner. If that can't be done, we ask for the homeowner's contribution. If that can't be done, we do try to omit work items. Of course, it has to be brought up to code. So if you have, if you need $70,000 worth of work, and it can't be worked out with the funding, unfortunately, the program would not be able to continue if we couldn't work out other funding, or you couldn't come up with funding. But generally, I'd say that happens. That's not the typical situation, because there are different ways to fund. Sometimes if someone's a senior, they could get money through a senior program, and like you have the benefit of multiple programs here that are worked out for you.
Does the Comfort Partners program, all for the income levels, do they include child support in that amount?
They'll include all income.
Okay. Is that the same things that Corrine mentioned? Do you know, if I would read this off? Wages, regular overtime, pension and social security, child support, alimony, self-employed, profit and loss, interest and dividends, or 2% imputed.
Yeah, then it's...
Yeah, that's basically the federal guidelines for these programs.
Did I get it
Federal,
right?
state, they're very, these are state guidelines, but they're similar to the HUD.
Okay.
I noticed that the Highland Park Home Improvement Program has their levels are like twice the level that the home improvement, that the Comfort Partners program is.
Well, I think the reason for that is that the Comfort Partners program is a free program. So it's specifically geared towards low-income housing.
Well, it's free after 10 years, Well, it's because the Highland Park Home Improvement Program, which I say it 3 times in a row, HIP for short, HIP follows the state guidelines, and the state has 6 regions, and so it's the region that you're in. That's the income limit, so it takes into account 3 counties into that region. And
So
that's how they base it.
Middlesex is combined with Somerset and Hunter.
So you're very fortunate, because it kind of gives you the income limits for this region is much higher than the income limits in, say, South Jersey. So you're in a very good region for the income limits.
What is the average person's chance, I guess it depends on how many people apply to the program, but what is the average person's chance of qualifying for the 18,000? I mean, what is it?
Like if you're income eligible and your property taxes are paid current and you have sufficient equity in your home, your chances are excellent.
Okay, great.
As far as the Comfort Partners program is concerned, it's a statewide program, and it handles, between the 5 contractors, CMC being one of them, it handles about 8,000 homes per year. So as far as qualifying for the program, once you're in the program, you will certainly have whatever measures are required.
Well, thank you everyone for coming. Again, if there's any other questions, go to the borough website, and there's a link on there. You can get their phone numbers if you haven't already written those down. Phone numbers or email addresses or websites are on there. And I also encourage everybody to show up for the Memorial Day Parade on Monday.
What time
And
is it?
I believe it's 10:30. starts in New Brunswick?
Starts in New Brunswick.
Come early to
But
get a
it's
good
here
spot,
about a
right?
half hour later, roughly 11 o'clock.
Right, that's right. Okay.
Riverman,
Right, okay. And have a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you. Thank you all.
And I also encourage everyone to tell their neighbors and their friends in
Well, let's
town
go
about
on
the
first.
program because it's new, so they may not have gotten, we're trying to get the word out there, but please spread it for us.